Welcome to this BVTV Global Network Trilogy, coming to you from the UK studios of BizVision. I'm your host, Malcolm Gallagher. How often do you get annoyed by misleading or confusing messages from politicians, businesses, organizations? I know these uncertain times have been unprecedented, but if you want to achieve success, then you need the 3 C's of clarity in your business and its purpose, to create clever content, and to build loyal communities. So who better to discuss them than the very person who delivers those 3 C's through his Merriborn Media. Welcome, Trevor Merriden. Welcome, Trevor.
Hi, thanks, Malcolm. Thanks for the opportunity to speak to you today.
Well, I'm really excited because we're going to point out later on your free download there on thought leadership. And I think you've got some terrific ideas that are of the moment. So Trevor, welcome to this Merriborn Trilogy of 3 videos. In episode 3, we'll address the 3rd C, which is communities. In episode 2, we'll chat about creating clever content. But for episode 1, I want to ask you about business clarity. I mentioned in my opening piece that we've all been subject to dithering, U-turns, inadequate and incorrect messages over these past few years. Is that what you mean about clarity? Why is it important? Where do people go wrong? And how can they correct it?
Well, you know, and I hope very much that I'm clear in my answers, for the start. So I suppose there's a little bit of pressure in me on this explanation. Now, what I'm all about really is helping people achieve clarity for their business. I'm talking in a business sense rather than a sort of spiritual enlightenment sort of sense. So it's clarity by what I mean. It's about the way you talk about yourself in everything you write, say, or do. And yes, in the communities you build. And why is clarity important? Well, it's essential to just really develop a core set of messages that you can use over and over again, because these add clear value to your business. It makes it very clear what it is that your business actually does. So you need to develop these messages and know how to use them with another C, consistency across all of your content and marketing activity. So you focus very restlessly on what the clarity of the message is. So you actually make sure that it relates to your buyers and also there's a sort of internal dividend within your business as well, because a lot of people focus on the external nature of clarity about being clear to your market. Sometimes people within a business aren't clear themselves on what their business is there to do. So the act of bringing clarity to your business actually involves sort of discussion and collaboration within businesses, so it's not just one leader sort of saying, this is the vision. It's about a sort of discussion about what that means, how you translate that into your messages. I hope that was a clear initial answer.
Yeah,
anyway.
yes. No, I thought it was fascinating because I've taken uppance with a few people I've been interviewing, particularly in technology. And on the front of the website, they're saying, I can't understand what they do.
Yes.
And I said that to the chief marketing officer of a very, very large company recently. And she says, well, that's just the way we speak. Yes, but surely that means that anybody you're trying to sell to that doesn't know you can't understand what you're doing. And therefore, if you can't understand what you're doing, they can't see what you're going to do for them.
It's a classic thing, Malcolm, that the people, and this does happen in particular, I'm not having a sort of a go at technology companies per se, but certainly the more complicated the offer or the product, the more the people within it start to use a shorthand in the formal way, the way they're talking about it. And they start to, and you see it also in sort of government quangos and others, so where they start to use acronyms, and the technology people sort of start to talk about the functionality of the technology and how exciting it all is. And what they do is they lose sight of the most important thing, which is the customer, who's probably not a techie or doesn't like acronyms, and so what you do is you have to learn to express it in terms that the people who are buying it from you will actually understand. And it's important, particularly the more specialist the industry becomes, the more you have to make sure that you achieve this clarity, not just within your organization. First of all, you sort out inside who your avatar is, your customer avatar is, the person that you're actually trying to sell to, achieve clarity around that. And only then can you even hope to sort of achieve some clarity with your customer or your prospect.
Yeah, yeah. I pinched, well, plagiarism is a wonderful thing, isn't it? I pinched something that President George Bush used many years ago to get his second term of office. He stuck to the 3 F's: family, fiscal, flag. Family, fiscal, flag. That's what he was all about. And everybody tried to divert him. He kept to that. We pinched it. So we're friendly, reliable, innovative. Fry. Friendly, reliable, innovative is what we keep saying there. And I think that's been quite important, because then people pick that up and they say, well, don't worry about Malcolm. He'll be there. He's reliable. Yeah.
The other thing, sorry, Malcolm. The other thing is that if you have a sense of clarity in what you're doing, I think it actually makes the amplification of what you're doing that much more pertinent. It comes across, and hopefully is genuine, that you are talking with a real purpose, that you have a passion about what you're saying, rather than you're sort of trotting something out that you were told to say by somebody else, or you're reading off a script. And so the act of doing that, whether it's through a George Bushism, sort of, and of what you're there to do, is that if you have a certain sort of a clarity or a mantra or something that gives you a sense of purpose, then the energy that gives you in the way you're talking about it really comes across. Yeah.
And also I think as well, Trevor, that we pay too much attention to the external at times, where internal, your people that are working for you are going out to the pubs, whatever they're doing, they're your ambassadors as well. And so they should understand what the business is about, shouldn't they?
Yeah. And if you, it's an old truism that it's about what people in your business sort of say about your product or your service, when if you're the leader, isn't in another room or another country or something, when they're, as you said, down the pub or down anywhere, and somebody says to them, well, what do you do? And and they're able to explain what they do clearly, or they're able to say the difference they make to people's lives through what they do. It's easier in some professions than others. But if you've got this sense of what you're there, then that purpose sort of engenders itself in everyday conversations. And you're quite right that those ambassadors, they could be your employees, they could be your investors, they could be your customers, they could be any of these kind of stakeholders. But the most important thing is that they have as clear an idea as you have as to what the purpose is of what you do.
Yes. Thanks, Trevor. Now, let me remind our audience of your URL, your website address, which is, obviously, viewers, you can see on the screen behind me there, but for listeners, let me spell it all out. It's all the W's, Merriborn, which is spelled MERRIBORN, merribornmedia.co.uk. Go there and find out about Trevor and request a free download of his excellent The New Thought Leadership Revolution. Actually, we've been threading some of our conversation that we've just been having around some of the content of that New Thought Leadership Revolution that you can download. Trevor, thanks for the first C of clarity in a trilogy. In your next episode, we're going for a double C of clever content. Are you up for it, Trevor?
I'm up for it.